We made it to another Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. How's it going? My name's Keith Barnes. This is Jacob Bartley. This is the Apocalypse Movies, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power weekly review show. And we talk about the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power TV show. Airs on Prime Video every week. We're going to talk about episode 7 called The Eye. Though it wasn't the eye
The
we were
eye.
expecting.
I
The eye
know,
that we're
right?
used to with Lord of the Rings. But yeah, there are lots of other eyes, though. Jacob Bartley, aforementioned, how are you?
What is up? I'm great. I think we're supposed to be like this. There we go.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing well, man. Hey, we came closer to you
Yes.
guys. Yeah, doing well. I watched the episode this morning, which I had been watching it at midnight Thursday nights, but
Oh, okay.
too tired last night. So I watched it this morning, and I pretty satisfied. Pretty
Yeah.
satisfied.
Yeah. So, yeah, actually, I watched it last night when I got home from work. Uh, thank Jake. Jake Blends in the chat.
There we
Everyone
go.
who's been watching. Our buddy
Producer Jake. Yeah, we were just figuring out where the banner and stuff was under. So yeah,
Yes.
we messed up last week.
Jake, you come on and produce a show. Jake, we could definitely use you.
No,
But
I got it. I got it.
no, totally, absolutely. But I watched it last night. I watched it. I do the same. I usually watch it in the morning. Well, I usually watch it in the morning, Saturday morning.
So we flip flopped this week.
Exactly. Yeah. I watched it when I got home last night, and then I was gonna try to watch it again this afternoon, but I got home really late from work, so I didn't get to. But yeah, it's another episode. We'll get into it. I really.
There we go.
Yeah. We got. Yeah, we'll get into it. It seemed to be, like I said, it's called The Eye, and this episode was completely just the aftermath of everything that happened last week.
Yes.
Except we actually pick up what the Harfoots are going through. Last week we of course did not. But
yeah, I mean, and obviously we didn't get Elrond and Durin last week either.
Also, yeah, exactly.
This episode did the best job of jumping back and forth between all three storylines.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I was okay with it before, but you are right. This episode actually did it the best. Yeah, let's get that on here real quick. I see what you're saying.
So Jake says this show is so up and down. Not to say the episodes are bad, but the pacing is very up and down. Yeah, I agree. If you've seen our review show, Keith asks me, why do you hate this show so much? Even though I just been critical until last week. But I will say, after last week, I was worried that the high was going to be too high and that they were going to fall significantly down. I don't think they did. I knew we weren't going to get an action-packed episode, which is totally fine. We got more than enough action for the whole entire season last week. I just wanted a good episode, and I think we got that.
Yeah, I agree because everything that happened at the end of that last episode, which of course was the formation of Mount Doom, or activation, I should say, of Mount Doom and its eruption, and then the aftermath of the eruption. We got the eruption. And then this episode, like I said, picks up with the aftermath, and it was very emotional for everyone involved, at least the people that were directly affected by it, the people in the Southland.
Yes.
And then, of course, we saw what happened. It reached the Harfoots, which we were wondering if it was going to affect any other parts of Middle Earth, and some of that destruction did reach where they are. I was wondering if Elrond would have any sense of what just happened, but I guess not. He is underground in a mountain, so.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because I was thinking everybody on the planet's going to be able to see this.
Right. Which, and there may be more, maybe more people that, obviously have seen and know what happened, because, I mean, it's a red sky. It looked like, it's all that, that opening shot of just all the. Let me get to my notes here. That opening shot was just, you get, it opens with Galadriel. As we were wondering, how does she survive this? I guess maybe she just was knocked over by the ash and just whatever shockwave came out.
So yeah, somebody was saying that like it's not it wasn't lava coming down.
Right.
It was just like the smoke
and
coming
ash.
down.
Yeah, probably just the shockwave.
Which can still harm people, obviously, which we saw.
Yeah. And well, not only that, but all the structures that are around, like all that stuff. The biggest damage seemed to be from people being near any structures or trees or whatever. Like just all the, of course, there are fireballs falling all over the place. But
yeah,
it was pretty brutal to see. The first shot I wrote was, our first note I wrote, was oh my God, that horse. We see a horse trotting by on fire, which was, whew.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And we were talking about the anti-horse violence when
exactly.
they
and we get a
in
horse
the last
stabbed.
episode,
right?
Yeah.
Here, let me put this real quick. Jake, our buddy Jake Berlin says, "Thank you, Jake, for watching along." So I hope it finishes very strong and sets out for a consistent season 2. I think it definitely will.
Yeah.
I think if this last 2 episodes, hopefully the finale will be, which we'll get to that later, watching the preview. But yeah, I think the stuff that we're more used to, I think it's going to come probably in the next season.
Yeah, I know. And prior to that, Jake said he thinks the show or the season's been kind of a miss because they took 6 episodes to get to some good stuff. But and like I mean, it seems like Jake is a little bit more critical than I have been. But I said last week.
So Jake hates.
What did I say? I said all is forgiven because of episode 6. Like,
yeah,
there has to be room for like, okay, yeah, it's been iffy so far, but if you deliver right now this week, then I'm all on board 100%. And that's what episode 6 did for me. So I think, and episode 7 was strong too. It was episode 7 was more of a dialogue and character, and politically driven episode.
And emotional, very emotional as well.
For this, emotional for sure. Yeah.
Like a mass destruction. I think I was just kidding. I know, take the page. I was teasing. But Galadriel survived. The Queen survived. The Queen survived. And I wrote, Isildur's friend died. That was tough. That was actually like, oh man, his friend was just talking about how.
So that was the guy who said
he was going to stay.
They were like, "Did you have enough battle for a week?" And he's like, "Maybe for a lifetime." And
he was going to stay and help settlers.
I love that because people can relate to that. You know, like war is not for everybody, and and there are certain people who like if they're called to action and they need to go to war, they will. They're willing to. And there's some people that it's just they shouldn't be on a battlefield, but they can help in other ways.
Right.
And so like that was that kind of guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, obviously not everything's for everyone. Yeah. Some people that you're not a soldier, That's why you have obviously in different forms of military, there's different jobs. Like you said, he find another way to help. He's probably looking forward to being, he's going to stay behind and help the Southland people settle and wherever they were going to settle. And, he's probably more of a humanitarian type of guy. So, yeah, it's too bad. I really like the character. It was his 2 friends there. And so, definitely was a sense of loss when one of them died.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, this drives to one of my negatives is like, why are they they're doing it for the father, right? But why are they making it such a big deal? Like Isildur might be dead. We know he's not dead.
Oh yeah, of course. That's literally what I was just about to say.
They're like tripling down on it. Like, is Isildur dead? Like, obviously not. But I do like seeing the dad get emotional over the potential loss of his son. But I don't know. Are they really trying to trick audiences into thinking that?
I wonder if it's just about the payoff that, like you said, the dad thinks he's dead, and maybe the friends don't know. So when we get to that moment when they see him, it's because him and his dad have kind of been having a tough time in their relationship with Isildur. What does he want to do with himself? His dad wants him to go in a certain direction. Isildur not really sure if he wants to go that direction, and then he does get involved in the way he gets involved. And so we're seeing, I think, that evolution of their relationship. And so when I think when we do get to, I'm sure, I don't know if it'll be next in the finale or not. I don't know. It's 8 episodes, right? That's the finale.
Yeah. So next week's the last episode.
So this is the last one. Okay, yeah. Well, whenever we get to that one, it might. I think that payoff because, like I said, we know he's not dead.
They better be shooting season 2 right already.
I know. I was wondering about that. I was like, I hope
I don't want to wait more than a year
from
the release of episode 1 to watch this.
Well, we do. I was wondering too. We didn't see Arondir or Bronwyn. We didn't know if they survived at this point. And yeah, so a bunch of people seemed like they got separated. So it's just a mess. It's a mess.
Okay, so filming for season 2 started on October 3rd, so literally 5 days ago.
Excellent.
So,
all right.
It's coming relatively soon.
Probably next, when did it start? In August or September, whenever it was started.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Great. All right. Hopefully they will release it this time next year. So, yeah. The next note I said, the Queen survived. The volcanic destruction even reached the Harfoots. So we actually cut to the Harfoots to see what's been going on with them. They're traveling. They arrive at their place. Forgot what they called it. Was it the Grove or something like that? I don't know. Wherever it was they were traveling to. They arrive and find it's all burned and wrecked, and all the food and stuff they were gonna harvest was destroyed, and it sucks. So, what do you think about the Harfoot scene?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was just glad to see them again because, I mean, even though, like I said, I agreed with the choice to only include the Southlands battle in episode 6. Like, I agree with that choice.
Yeah.
But it was nice to go back to the Harfoots, and I'm just like I told you before, visiting them, being with those characters, it feels the most like Lord of the Rings. Like it makes me feel involved in the world more. But at the same time, like they're a little wishy-washy on like their I guess not their morals, but like their set of rules.
Yeah.
Like the I don't know what they call their leader. But you know the gentleman who's leading the Harfoots. Maybe he's their chief or their general or whatever.
Yeah.
But like he's like, oh, I don't know. Okay. But then again, the stranger has given him reason to keep going back and forth. Like he saved his wife, and then he's like bringing the fruit back and all.
Right.
So like. It's been interesting, but I still do enjoy these characters. Nori is one of my favorite characters on the show.
Yeah. She's definitely grown on me. Although it is interesting her wariness around the stranger now, because obviously she thought maybe he hurt her, even though it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, she offered him an apple, so is that a sign of peace, of forgiveness?
Sure. Yeah.
And real quick, Andy. Hi, Andy. How's it going? Andy says, I think this is maybe in response to me and Jake. Any adaptation of Tolkien's works is going to have a slow start. All of his works start super slow. Yes.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Think about Fellowship of the Ring. How long does it take till you get to what's the elf kingdom called?
Rivendell?
How long does it take till you get to Rivendell? And then after they put the fellowship together and actually start going on in the adventure, that's like an hour and a half into the movie.
Exactly. I was about to say
so
that.
In a sense, he's right.
Yeah. When you got established, and this being a series, you're going to take more time to establish everyone.
Yeah.
Not just the characters, but the world. So, and each place where they come from and where they're going. So, I agree with that.
Oh, and I guess this is what they call their leader, the Trailfinder. Something like that. That makes sense. I knew they wouldn't call him king or president or something like that. I knew it was going to be something like a little bit more humble or something.
Yeah. So they're all asking the stranger to fix the trees, which they ask Nori to ask him to fix the trees. But he just kind of starts doing it. But I do love there was one point where he's kind of touching the trees and he's chanting something in his language. And then they're like, what's he doing? And the leader, Trailfinder, says, he's talking to the trees. And the lady says, trees don't talk. And he's like, some do. which I thought was pretty cool.
Well, didn't we see them? Didn't we
Yes.
see
They
some of the
briefly showed
trees
them.
earlier in the show?
Yeah, I think maybe
they have a
first episode.
name. That what are they called?
Ents.
It's like a shortener. Ents, right?
Yeah, Ents. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird because Treebeard. I was going to say Treebeard said he's not a tree, but he is. I guess he says he is. I don't know.
Well, maybe trees are the trees that we know, and their species is like related to trees, but they're not trees. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I guess that's what it would be, right?
Yeah, probably. So yeah, that was a great line. But yeah, the stranger tries to bring the tree back to life. Seemingly didn't work. A bunch of tree branches fall down, nearly fall on Nori and another little kid. So everyone's mad at the stranger again, even though he didn't mean to do that. And they walked up to him again. If you see the stranger doing something, leave him. Stay back. Stay away from him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, first they're scared of the stranger. Then he saves them. Now they ask for his help. Oh, he accidentally knocks a tree down. Now they're scared of him and mad at him. Oh, now they need his help again to bring the free. Like, I just keep going back and forth. Like, maybe do it twice. Don't do it like 4 times.
Yeah.
But I just want to say really quick, I looked it up. So the leader of the Harfoots, his name is Sadoc Burrows. So Sadoc Burrows. So now we know his name now.
Yes.
And yes, you're correct, Andy. It is the Trailfinder. Is the leader of they basically lead the way.
Yes.
And they're an expert in like constellations and stuff, so they can find, they basically know how to map around, I guess.
Right. Oh, that's great and good. And let me just highlight this here. Yes, Andy. Some of the trees are also sentient. Treebeard and the Ents, while looking at the trees, are the guardians, shepherds of the talking trees. Yes. I do. Now that you say that, Andy, I do remember Treebeard saying that. Yes. So, very good. And he says some of these when they get to Isengard and all the trees are destroyed, he's like, some of these trees were my friends. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I need to watch the movies again sometime soon.
Let's see. You're absolutely right. And like we said, if you see the stranger chanting or doing something, like, get away from him. Don't go up to him and try to touch him or talk to him or see.
That makes no sense.
Stay away. I know. You think?
Yeah. So honestly, that's their fault.
Exactly. Yes.
Just like we said about Nor, and then none of the adults try to stop them either.
Right.
Like
exactly.
from getting so close. So they're. Yeah.
Yeah. So. So we jump to Elrond. Finally,
Wait, hold on. It's like if you invite like someone for like a birthday party and they're like throwing swords and they're juggling swords, and then the kids get like stand right next to them and they get their face slit.
Exactly.
And they're like, "Oh no, it's your fault." Like, no, why is you letting your kid come so close to me?
Exactly. Yeah.
That just reminded me of something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, we jump to Elrond. He's
yes.
When we last saw him,
Elrond is so good.
He and Durin were talking about the Mithril. Durin's going to help him go to the king and see his father, King Durin, which I'll get to that in a second, and see if they can make a deal to try to get the Mithril for the elves who are dying. They need the light from the Mithril. The elves are losing their light. They're all going to die. They don't get this jump start from the Mithril, this ore that is apparently been found in a huge mine, an even bigger mine than they thought, as it turns out, underneath the mountain there where the dwarves live. Elrond making this plea to the king reminded me of Padme pleading with the Gungans for their help.
Oh yeah,
in episode 1. That's what I thought about in the Phantom Menace. So what do you think about this scene?
Wait, what scene was it again?
But Elrond making the plea to the king.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Duh, you just said that. Yeah. No, I thought that was great, and this was my favorite thing about this episode was the back and forth between the Dwarf King and Elrond, and then between Durin and his father. Mm-hmm. I guess he's King Durin, so he's Durin the Third is the king, and Durin the Fourth is Prince Durin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that stuff. And I see sometimes in television shows, even movies, like you have Elrond give that, give his argument, and the king's like, I don't know if I should do it. Okay, I'll do it. But this king is so stern on his beliefs and, not willing to sacrifice in order to just evolve, kind of. Yes. So like, this is some of the best stuff. We've been saying all season long that Elrond and Durin were some of our favorite parts of this whole series, and they did a great job. And look, Robert Aramayo is the guy who plays Durin. Or no, he plays Elrond. And he was made to play this role. He's so good. I didn't even know this. He's from Game of Thrones.
I looked that up last night. I saw that too.
And he plays Eddard Stark, which I freaking... How did I not know that? And now I'm looking at his face.
Bring that
of course he does. Wow.
And
but he's barely in Game of Thrones. It's like flashback scenes.
Adar is also from Game of Thrones. He plays another Stark character. The actor that plays Adar.
I mean, why not bring some of those actors in? They already know the genre and everything. So why not?
Yes.
I'll look that up. Who he played.
Yeah, I saw that last night. Oh, there's another Stark person.
Joseph Mao. Okay, let me see.
I didn't get. I just noticed.
Oh, it's hard to tell who he is in his Adar makeup and all that. But now I can see him. Let me see who he is in Game of Thrones.
Stark is Sophie Turner she was a Stark, right? Is that her?
Yes, she is. Yeah, okay. She's one of the Stark daughters.
Oh, Stark. Okay.
Yeah. He played Benjen Stark in Game of Thrones.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Starks.
He's one of the uncles. Yeah.
Okay. Did he die a horrible death? I'm sure he probably died some kind of terrible death.
Kinda. Well, no, actually, no, he doesn't. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Okay. But yeah, I wrote King Durin basically says to Elrond, sorry. But no. He didn't even say sorry. He's like, he essentially says, I wrote down that life has chosen them for extinction. Which I lifted that.
No, he doesn't even say sorry. Like he's not
he did,
apologetic at all. And so if I'm remembering right, by the time we get to the original trilogy timeline, the dwarves and the elves, they don't get along, right? Or they haven't got along. Yeah. So like, is this the reason why?
I wonder. I think it's always been contentious between those two.
I mean, Durin called them allies in this episode, which did they just recently become allies because of Durin? Maybe
it's possible. Yeah. Or there may have been an alliance between the two. Yeah, you might be right. Their beef may be because of this. It could be. I wonder if
we'll see though.
Well, they are mining. At least, according to the trilogy, they are mining. The dwarves are mining the mithril themselves. But I do wonder.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
but
gonna.
I don't know.
I mean, there's gonna be things that happen. There's a Balrog coming up.
Exactly. Yes.
So,
exactly. Yeah.
So is that must be the Balrog when the mithril was created, and then somehow it got trapped down there.
Yes.
Which I know they're kind of like magical creatures or whatever, but dang, it can survive a long time, huh?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a big giant fire.
Does it need food?
Fire monster. No, it probably eats
mithril.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it eats dwarves. I don't know. Maybe.
Wait, so mithril? Oh, missing dwarves. That would make sense.
Yeah.
So the mithril brings things back to life.
Pretty much.
So does the stranger.
That's a good. You know what? I did not make that connection. Because
is the stranger the elf from the battle? No, he's not an elf though.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's that one. Oh well.
Because
we'll get to that. Because based on the preview for next week, I have a.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get to that. So they do cut to Durin and his wife, Princess Disa. She is not happy about the decision the king has made.
By the way, I love her character.
Same.
This conversation between them almost made me tear up.
Yes.
Honestly.
And he makes I laughed out loud. Hilarious joke about her mother. That was hilarious. Because she insults the king, says he's a flea. What'd she say? Tick infested beard or whatever. I forgot what she said.
Yeah.
And she's like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said he had a tick infested beard. He's like, I don't like when you say bad things about my mother, basically. And he's like, well, yeah, except she actually does have a tick infested beard or something like that. And
Wow.
And he's like, I'm just joking. That was really funny. That was a good scene. I love the two of them and Elrond. Yeah, I think you're right. That's probably my favorite part of the show. Is them.
Yeah, and then he throws the little mithril rock.
Elrond comes
back to life.
Elrond comes to say goodbye, which is a very emotional farewell between the two of them. And as he's leaving, he throws the rock towards that leaf, and see the leaf come back to life, and they freak out. They yell for him to come back. That's the end of that scene. But I wrote down the mithril stone brings the leaf back to life. I wonder, but he drops that leaf down later, though. Like, I don't know if it was what brought that Balrog to life. I'm wondering.
I mean,
he throws the leaf in there, and then it burns.
Yeah, maybe it needs like some type of life around it. I don't know, some form of life around it to activate, or it could just be stuck down there. But I feel like it would be able to break out.
A leaf woke it up? Like, it's crazy.
I don't know. It's either.
I read back.
Possibly.
Rewound it. Watched like nothing else. He just dropped that leaf down there.
Maybe he's just been down there and he saw the leaf fall and like they're but why would he just stay down there?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. He was dormant for some reason.
It could be a situation where the Balrog needs some type of life to just to like, I don't know, to wake up. Yeah. Thariel thinks Sauron woke it up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. Who knows, man? Who knows? Or maybe it's the mountain. Maybe, I don't know, the volcano activated everything else woken up. Maybe the connected to that volcano, Mount Doom. I don't know. Who knows? Here, Andy. Pretty sure as it is just sleeping, and then like the sense of life, nature could easily trigger it. That's possible. That's what I was wondering, too. When I was, it's exactly what I was thinking as I was watching a scene and asking, like, so there must just be just nothing down there. But as soon as a leaf falls down, the leaf instantly burned up, and he woke up. So,
I mean, there's mithril down there though, but maybe it's not the same thing. Maybe the mithril itself is not alive, you know. But do we think like there has to be something that ties into this in next week's episode, right? Because I mean, if they do a situation where like we don't even see the Balrog again, or like
that would be strange.
Or it's but do you think maybe it breaks out, it starts attacking the dwarves, the elves come and save them, and then makes the king say, okay, you guys saved our ass, so we can make a deal.
Yeah.
Or does the king die and then Durin becomes king and then he's willing to help?
If he makes an executive decision like Prince Durin tried to, because Prince Durin was just like, and just kind of, just jump ahead. He discovers there's way more of that mithril than they thought they had.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems like it's more than enough for them to have and to give to the elves.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to help them. He said, "Close it back up."
Right.
Like, well, the king we're not even going to touch it now. Right for now.
Prince was, as he was showing it to Elrond, he was just like, let's. It seemed like he was going to be like, let's just get it, because that's what his wife was telling him. Like, listen,
that's what they were going to do.
Right.
But I knew the king was going to show up in that scene.
Yeah,
I knew it. You can feel it.
Absolutely. And you're just like, oh, he's in so much trouble. Well, they have a great here, and I'm going to go to that part of my notes. Well, okay. Another great scene I wrote. Another great scene between Elrond and Durin. Elrond makes fun of him, calls him. This is really funny. He's like Durin, son of Durin, grandson of, and then Durin cuts him off. It's like, all right, make your jokes. He's like, there's nothing more honorable for a dwarf than to take on the name of his father or something like that. So apparently they're all named Durin. Everybody all the males in his line.
So was he saying that like, oh, we have our own little nicknames internally, like we only tell it to our family, our brothers, and he was about to tell him?
Yes.
And then Elrond said, save it.
Save it for the other side or something like that, he says. Yeah. Which I thought was awesome. And I just absolutely just love the relationship between the two of them. I love their friendship. It's really great. I'm still worried it might end tragically.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not. Like, he says that he basically calls him his brother to his face, and then he tells his dad that father. He's just as a brother to me as if he came from my mother's womb or whatever. Which
really the dad did not like at all.
That was like the thing that set the dad over the edge.
Yeah. Yes. And that's that. Well, I wrote my note here is that the fight between father and son, it was similar to Thor and Odin, the fight they had in the first Thor movie.
Yeah.
Because Durin, the Prince Durin, really goes back at his father, tells him, "Hey, you're too busy stuck in the past." And like Andy, our buddy Andy Thing says here, stubbornness of dwarves personified. And Prince Durin basically tells his father that, like, "Hey, we gotta move on. These are our allies. We gotta work with them. We can't just let an entire race of people that are our allies just die because we want to keep all of this stuff to ourselves. We have something that can help them. Why would we not help them?" And it's a good scene. You can see the Prince Durin would be a great leader. So.
Yeah, no, I think so, because he's ready to like evolve the kingdom and involve the dwarves as a species. So, right. And look, he said that he's basically going to deck them out for 5 centuries.
Right.
And like by the time of 5 centuries of being like having all that stuff, you're going to be able to flourish so much that basically the dwarves would be set up for life.
Right.
From this. And but the king's being stubborn. And I was wondering, before I forget, do you think that Elrond having that little piece of mithril like helps keep him alive?
Helps him. I was thinking about that. That's a great point.
It must, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't make such a big deal about him having it. Like he gave it back, then they threw it, and then he ends up having it back again.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if I thought he tried to give it. I know there was one point, I can't remember the last episode. Well, no. That would have been before that, where he tried to give it back to Durin, and Durin told him to keep it.
Yeah, and then he did give it back to him.
And then he did, yes.
And then that whole thing with the leaf happened.
Right. Yeah, so that was that same piece.
But I'm guessing once, is it not?
No, I didn't know for a second. I thought maybe he...
Yeah, I think it is the same piece. It's the same piece. Okay. And I think what happened was either when they called him back, they just gave it back to him, or as he was being escorted out, Durin slipped it to him.
Maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to watch it again. I wonder. Yeah. So we jumped around just a little bit, but I will jump back to Galadriel talking to Theo. They appear to have been separated, like I said. Galadriel blames herself for everything that just happened, which I don't know. I was thinking about that. I was like, there's a lot.
Well, look, if they never came in the first place, it still would have happened.
It would have happened. Yes. Because that was
just more people would have died. Just more of the Southlanders would have died.
Well, yes.
Or all of them.
Well, later on, Theo blames himself, which also, maybe because if he hadn't, they were looking for that thing. It was a key to open up that. I mean, they would have found it eventually, whether he had it or somebody else had it or not. So, all of that, I think, yes, you're right, would have happened regardless. But yeah, they do have the classic "this is all my fault" conversation. I saw that on the TV show Arrow. Every second or third episode, Oliver was blaming himself for, or some character was blaming.
Oh yeah, it's everyone's fault.
Everybody, yes,
it's Arondir's fault.
Everyone says it's my fault. Everyone says it's all my fault, and somebody else says no, this is all my fault. And so
sometimes it's like not,
but, right. Sometimes something bad just happened.
But I mean, like you can blame certain things on Galadriel here. I mean,
Sure.
she was kind of right about the presence of the orcs and some type of conspiracy going on.
Yes.
She was right about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right, and she's been right about that this whole time. Maybe her pursuit, her motives were obviously partially
So when I started this episode, I read the description and it said Adar ponders a new name or something, and I was like, what? Okay. Well, first of all, I was like, oh, cool. Like, is he Sauron or whatever? And then I was like, no, they were talking about naming the Southlands. They weren't talking about his type, like his name.
Right.
And I'm like, was that to throw us off? Like, that's
because you're right. Because
up.
for a second, I was wondering when we see him later on, where he's like, no, this is he's like, whatever he said, rule, hail the king of the Southlands or whatever. And they're like, no.
And he was like, I thought he was going to say, I'm no longer Adar. Call me Sauron or something.
I was wondering if when he said he killed Sauron, he was talking about a version of himself. You like how Kylo Ren says, I killed Ben Solo or whatever he said. Or whatever, I can't remember what he said. But something alluding to that. I don't know. But so I thought it was going to be one of those situations. But no, yeah, he's talking about the name of the land. It's cool that they put it on the screen in that black font too, Mordor, which we knew all along that this is going to be the beginnings of Mordor, which is a terrible, terrible place. But so the queen is found alive. Isildur is presumed dead. We get that scene where the queen and Elendil and Isildur's friend are walking. And I wrote, oh no, the queen has lost her vision. That was sad.
Yeah, I love the way they did it, honestly. When she's like, oh, how long
so
until we're out of the smoke? And then like it was just like complete silent for like 30 seconds with everybody like looking at, or the two guys looking at her.
Right. And it stopped walking. And then she's like, and she figures it out. She's like, oh, how long have we been out of the smoke? They're like, yeah, like a long time ago. And so you can see her, great acting by her, great performance by her, as always, but especially in this point where she's just looking ahead still. And they're getting emotional, and she's just like, please don't say anything. Just keep going. Basically, we'll deal with it later, But it was like, oh, that sucks. Like, you're wondering if they asked her what she can see, and I think she just said it's just gray or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like the after effect of the volcano erupting or whatever, it might have just got straight in her eyes.
Yeah.
And messed her up, So like people were injured and hurt still, everyone except Galadriel. And everyone except the little kid too. So it's like, no scratches. Let's go.
But he may have lost his mom. His heart's broken. He's sad.
Okay, this brings up okay. You just reminded me. I only took one note. I was taking a bunch of notes when the show first started, but now that I know all the characters and all that, I don't necessarily have to take notes, but I had to write this down because this is what is the kid's name?
Theo.
Do you know the kid's name?
Theo.
Oh, Theo?
Yeah.
So he's like, so what if they're all dead? My mom, Arondir, like, what if they're all dead? And then Galadriel says this: what cannot be known hollows the mind. Fill it not with guesswork. I love that line.
That's a great line. Yes.
I love that line. And it's like a line you could apply to life.
Yeah.
Like, what cannot be known hollows the mind. Fill it not with guesswork. And I was like, that's amazing. It's basically like, don't worry about the stuff that you can't control or that you don't know yet.
Right.
So I love that line.
That's a great one. That definitely applies to me. So I'm glad you brought that up.
And it's like, okay, Galadriel, I see you.
Listen, she's been dropping.
She's getting better for me.
These last 2 episodes, she's been dropping some jewels, man. Last 3 episodes, really. Some good life lessons from her. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, she is getting better. You can see the growth with her as well.
Mm-hmm.
With her making amends with the queen, kind of learning how to play well with others. So yeah, she's definitely made some strides. Then I wrote her. She speaks of her husband. I don't.
So, what's funny about this is people who read the books and stuff, they know she had a husband.
Yes.
I heard somebody talking about it, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna mention her husband, and they do the next episode.
Yeah,
but apparently he died too.
He died, which
right?
She must have, and then maybe there's another one. Well, Elrond marries her daughter, and that's Arwen. Elrond and her daughter are Arwen's parents. So
interesting.
Yeah. So I wonder, does she marry? I mean, she says her husband is gone. So
I mean, look, time is all relative to them, right? So like, maybe she does have a daughter, and then her daughter's going to be like adult age, and Elrond's still going to look the same. So like, it's not weird.
Yeah. Or she could be way older than Elrond too. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. We don't even know. Like, she could. That's a great point. She could be like twice Elrond's age for all we know.
Right. And I mean, they're still friends, but yeah, she could be older than him. Although, yeah, Andy, you're exactly right. Yes, I remember this. You see your husband in the movies. Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, she could have. Well, like we said before, these are not connected to the movies.
Yes.
These are another set of adaptation. This is another adaptation of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Or Lord of the Rings lore, I should say.
And they are taking some liberties with it just to kind of.
And she could have multiple husbands, like over time.
But if she lost one, she get married again. It's okay. She found love again at some point. It's all right.
And but it looks like she's filling some human characters though.
Yeah.
Let's see what's up with that.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. The huge cavern or the mithril, we went over that. Elrond is kicked out. Sucks. King Durin catches them checking out the big old thing of mithril that they discovered. There's way more. The king kicks him out. So wondering what's going to happen there. That's kind of where we end with that story. Back to the Harfoot.
See, here's the difference between this show and Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, they would have executed him. They would have executed Elrond.
Yes. Well, I wonder if
isn't that a high offense? They were trying to steal mithril. Like, shouldn't the prince be punished and Elrond be executed?
Well, I wonder if he wasn't such good friends with Prince Durin, maybe they would have done.
If he would have, but also that would have meant war with the elves.
Yes,
maybe they don't want that.
They don't. Want or man, well, I don't know. Maybe they. No, they don't want war. Nobody wants war. So nobody wants a war. It's from Batman. Never mind. Let's see. Jump back to the Harfoots. The fruit trees came back to life. Eleanor's looking all sad. Her friend's picking some apples and then eating two more or whatever, something like that. She's like, "What are you doing? We got to save these." And she's like, "No, it's all good. Look out the window. Everything's blooming, beautiful, green, lots of apples back to life. It's looking good. They're going to harvest. They're going to make something called apple sauce," which someone says. My aunt's going to make something called apple sauce. We forgot about, my note here is, we forgot about those scary people from a couple episodes ago, which we saw briefly. Then they show up again. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's right. These people are seemingly following."
They have a name. Forget their name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're followers of something, or they're something like that.
Right. Well, they're scary looking and weird. They have these weird eyes. They clearly don't talk. They are very menacing looking. What were they doing? I think the two friends were, I guess, or one of them was spying on them. I don't know if they were going to approach their little village.
So they're looking for the stranger.
Yes.
And I think they were just trying to throw them off his scent. But why? That was kind of dumb, to be honest. Why would you bring attention to yourselves?
Yeah.
To these people.
Again, leave them alone. Like, leave anything involving that, just leave it alone, because what they wound up doing is destroying the people. The villagers all approach them. Eleanor's father has a torch, threatens this.
Hey, this is what I was wondering: were there Harfoots in those carriages when they lit them?
I was wondering that as well. Yeah, I was wondering
Because
about
I
that.
get it. Look, that was basically their homes, right? Like they don't have houses, so like it's
Little
like as if
huts.
all their homes got lit on fire. That's enough reason to be like like terrified and scared. But were there had to have been some Harfoots resting in those.
Oh, probably. It was nighttime. Yeah, so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they just kill like 30 Harfoots?
Well, and I noted too that while they were a few minutes earlier when everything was all happy and great, all the fruits growing, they they noted that the camera, the show, like they kind of focused on how they're storing all of the fruit in their houses there.
Oh, so all the fruit that they just got
Right. And so that's
burned.
why that made it even more tragic. But I remember noting that like there was just like this montage of everyone picking all the apples, and they're showing them putting in their baskets, and they're showing them stacking them, the baskets full of apples in each. There's like 3 different shots of them, someone stacking apples in their house there, and so it seems like
a lot of characters are not like pure evil or pure good. Like there's a lot of gray area. No redemption for those characters. They burned all the Harfoot's food.
burn all their food,
They're pure evil.
and probably some of them as well. So
Okay,
yeah.
so hold on. I looked up this is on Prime Video.
Oh,
It says survivors of a cataclysm try to find safety. The Harfoots confront evil. Dern is torn between friendship and duty. Adar considers a new name.
name. Yeah, I got it right.
That is false marketing right there. He does not consider a new name. It should say Adar considers a new name for the Southlands. That is false marketing.
Yeah.
Come on, Amazon.
Unless he was considering a new name, we just didn't.
Oh, that's true. They could say, in his head he was considering a new name.
Thinking about it.
So,
Like if they showed, if it was like the TV show Scrubs, and they show what he's thinking. Oh
yeah.
Think about changing my name.
So, what do you think about last week? He said he killed Sauron.
Yeah.
So, what do you think's going on here? He basically created Mordor.
Well, this is so. I'm just gonna go ahead. We're almost done, but I'm gonna go ahead and just go to the preview for next week. I think the stranger might be Saruman, because there's a scene, and it could just be editing. I don't know. These previews are just quick cuts. They're like 2 seconds, but it shows the three people that are looking for the stranger, and then you see them lifting someone out of. They're like doing looks like some kind of ritual, and they're lifting someone out of some water who looks like he has white hair as he comes out of the water. And I'm wondering if there's something that they do to the stranger. They dip him in some water, and he comes out, and he's a white wizard. That's what I put all that together.
I mean, look, we talked about this at the beginning. We talked about that being one of the possibilities.
I think Saruman or a wizard of some kind.
Like, well, we talked about, obviously, I don't think it's Gandalf anymore.
I don't think it is either. I'll be surprised.
I mean, it could be Sauron reborn or whatever, or Saruman. And like we said before, we know that Gandalf and Saruman don't show up until the Third Age or whatever. But this is an adaptation, and they're gonna take liberties. So, or like we said, just a new wizard that we haven't met yet. Which I actually prefer that. Saruman would be pretty cool, though.
I was looking a few days ago on Twitter, and I think movie critic reviewer who we know from Schmodown, Drew McWeeny, asked, who do we think the stranger is? And a lot of people, there were a bunch of comments were just a lot of, it was mostly Gandalf, Sauron, and there were a few people that were naming this other wizard that I wish I should have noted that for the show today to bring to the show. But there was another name of another wizard that a lot of people were saying that. So it could be another character that we don't know. But yeah, I know. So I just found that interesting. And again, it could be anything. It's like I said, those previews are, every shot they show you is only like 2 seconds, so it's a quick cut. So who knows?
Do you think if it is a character that we know eventually becomes evil, like a Sauron or Saruman, is he gonna be like, once he is announced to be that, is he gonna just be evil from that point on?
That's a good question because here we go. Yes, Andy and Daryl both said Radagast or something like that. That's
yeah,
the
I
name.
remember we
Yes.
taled about Blue Wizards too
Yeah.
a few weeks ago,
I think
and
that's a
I
strong
don't know much
possibility.
about them, but I've heard of them.
Same, yeah. Same here. So I think it's possible. What was your question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, was it like, okay, if he is a Saruman or a Sauron, whatever, like, is because they've been teetering with like, oh, he's dangerous, but he has a good heart. Like,
right.
is he going to be a pure bad guy once he remembers who he is?
Yeah, and I think we sort of talked about this before, but I wonder because it seems like Saruman is not all bad. I mean, him and Gandalf are friends, at least based on the.
Well, Saruman is viewed as he's good, right? Until but he's doing stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about yet.
So
he's revealed as evil, like he betrays them.
It's a Palpatine situation where it seems like he's a good person. He's playing two different roles and doing them both very well. But he's playing the good guy role very, very well, it seems like. So, even though they are watching it, you watch that prequel trilogy, they're pretty clear. Even if you don't know the Star Wars story, you can look at that and go, "Oh no, he's the bad guy."
Yeah.
Sure. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I wonder about that. I don't know if it is Saruman. I would imagine. Well, see, I don't know because of the way time is, and that they did say they're gonna play a little bit loose with the time frames. They're gonna kind of accelerate some of the stuff or move ahead with some of the time because everything takes place over such a long period of time, hundreds to thousands of years, that they may take something that happens 1,000 years from now and move it up a little bit for the sake of the show. So that's why I think it could be possible that it could be like a Saruman or a Gandalf, like you said, someone that we know.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, we don't know how much season 2 is going to time jump too.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can't too much because wait. Oh, actually, never mind. It could. Well, like Isildur, like he's just regular human,
he's
right?
A regular man.
But once he gets the ring, how long does he live for?
We know. That's a good point. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Because we know it kept.
So the inventions of the ring have to happen within his lifetime,
right?
Obviously.
Right.
Okay, that puts it into context a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they are forged at that mountain, so I don't know. And I wonder if this Mithril is involved in that. I wonder if the ring is.
That's what I was thinking. Is Mithril used
to make the
rings? Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
because it's right there in Middle Earth, so. Remember,
it might be a mixture of that and other things.
Some other stuff. Yeah, but so really quick, we're almost done. Let's see. Elendil regrets having saved Galadriel.
Well, only because he thinks his son's dead and he blames her for it.
Yeah. And of course, that's right when she finally arrives at the camp. She and Theo arrive at the camp. Very emotional scene where Theo finds his mom, and then Arondir is also right there. It's a great moment when Theo hugs him. That was pretty cool to see those two characters. We see. I like Theo's growth as well. He's had a little bit of arc himself.
Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed from him at first, but I do think okay. I forgot about this. I mean, I know that Isildur's Númenórean, but I forgot that they live. So Andy says Isildur is a Númenórean. He is long lived compared to regular humans. Still, duh. Sure. That's right, because that's why the Númenóreans are mad at the elves, because they got immortality, and the Númenóreans got like partial immortality.
And I think I read that Aragorn, being his heir, I think he lived well into his hundreds. I think I remember reading that somewhere. I may be wrong.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
So maybe they could have had him in the Hobbit trilogy and explained it somehow.
Sure.
I'm so glad they didn't.
I'm surprised they didn't. Now you say that.
I mean, they wanted him. He said no. Viggo Mortensen said no. Peter Jackson
I didn't know that.
Wanted him for the Hobbit trilogy, and he said no. He said that makes no sense for the character. Look, Legolas made sense and actually fits in those silly movies.
I guess. Aragorn is in his 80s. Yes, yeah. So yeah. Andy says Aragorn is in his 80s during Lord. Yes, yeah. I knew. I did. Yeah.
Oh wow, so he was alive during the Hobbit movies.
He may have been. Yeah. So he would have been a young guy. But...
Well, it depends how much time that is, but still.
Yeah. We actually talked about this because Bilbo was what? Because Return of the I'm sorry, Fellowship of the Ring opens. It's 111th birthday, but I think was it 70 years or something like that prior to this?
Too little butter over too much bread. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Oh yeah, because how old is he in the Hobbit movies?
I think he's in his 70s, maybe. I thought I remember, or it's 70 years, I should say. I don't know. I don't remember. I thought I heard something. I don't know, maybe wrong. But whatever. Yeah. So okay. Well. Yeah. Well, Elendil. Yeah, he's I'm sorry. Arondir, excuse me, is alive. Great moment with him and Theo. I love this scene. Queen Muriel is ready to strike back. Okay. Galadriel goes up to her. Obviously, she can't see, which Galadriel sees that and is just like, you can see the, oh no, like on her face, like she really feels bad. It's a great acting by the actress there. I love how the Queen reached and touched Galadriel's face. You probably felt the tears coming out of her eyes. Great line, which I wrote down. She says, "Do not spend your pity on me, elf." I thought for a second when she said that it was going to be, they're going to be back to beefing again.
Mm-hmm.
But she says, "Save it for our enemies, for they do not know what they have begun." I was like, oh, that's great. So the Queen's ready to strike back, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, no, I like that because I keep forgetting his name, but I love his character. Isildur's dad.
Elendil.
He doesn't want to. He wants to get out of there and have nothing to do with it anymore.
And he turns his back because Galadriel walks up.
Because he had a personal loss, but the Queen is like, no, like if Isildur's really dead, we lost a soldier. That's unfortunate, but he's like, we got to do, what's right. And she believes, coming back to.
Oh well, her thing is like, no, we're going to war. She's just like, no, this is.
And not to mention, they killed a bunch of her soldiers and blinded her.
Yeah, so for her, this
she's
is
taking it personal.
Yeah. For her, this is an act of war. She's ready to strike back and bring these enemies down, the orcs and whoever is leading them, bring them down. I do agree with this comment. I didn't want to, I thought about this. Phazon will try to overthrow the Queen while she's blind there. I think that is exactly what will probably happen.
That little snake dude. Yes,
that number 2 guy. Yeah.
Yes, I think he's the chancellor, right?
He had his own. It seems like it. Yeah, he definitely had his own plans to allow all this to happen. Because he said whoever's going to be the king is going to be the king of this land, and they're going to owe us a lot of favor for us helping them. I know the king is obviously Halbrand, who speaking to him, we see that he survived. He's been badly injured, but he survived. Galadriel says to Arondir, he needs elvish medicine. He goes out. The people see him alive, so big morale boost for them. They're hailing their king. So they're going to go. Where are they going?
I know. That's what I was wondering. He said, because when he woke up, she was like, "You need elvish medicine," and he's like, "No, we can't leave these people here." Yeah. And they get up and leave anyway. So. Where are they going?
I'm wondering, are they? Oh, and we see the Queen on one of the ships.
Heading back.
Heading back. Are they going? They're going to an
maybe
elf
Galadriel
city.
Knows a nearby place that has some elvish medicine. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe there's a nearby elf city where they can get some. Although she did say she's gonna go talk to the king. So maybe they're heading back to.
Well, that headquarters or whatever is not in the.
It's across the ocean.
It's in Middle Earth, right?
No, wasn't it?
Oh, it's not?
I thought it was. Didn't she? To talk to her king, wasn't that? She was on a boat. Remember, she was on that boat that got lost at sea. So she's way.
No, because they were going back to the elf dimension or whatever.
Oh, you're right.
So like there's
That's
two
true.
different locations. There's the
But she
place where
came-
like she was being sent back to after she was like gonna retire or whatever.
Yes.
And then there's the place that Elrond and the Elf King were hanging out in. Like that's not there.
But she was there also. Remember, she was talking to Elrond.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to travel by. I think that's in Middle Earth.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
You might be right.
Or like
okay.
it's on land.
Linden. Oh,
yeah.
she did say Linden was in.
Yes.
Middle Earth.
So
Yeah,
maybe
that's
she's
it.
going there. Yeah, that's
She
what
said,
I'm saying.
She did
yeah,
say
yeah.
that. She said Linden. Yes. you're
Yeah.
right. Okay. And that is in Middle Earth. Okay.
But wait,
okay.
but why did he stay? Oh no, we got to stay. Like whatever. Like I don't know.
Maybe Andy. Yes, your king is on Middle Earth. Yeah, you're right. Yes. So maybe then. Okay. So maybe we'll see. Galadriel and Elrond reunited. We're gonna go talk to the king. Who knows what the king is up to? I don't know if he's really up to.
We haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen him since Elrond and Durin left to go talk to the Dwarf King. Yeah.
Right.
Remember, he was even looking mischievous when they were leaving.
That's what I'm saying.
too.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what he's up to. So,
Mhm.
say hi to our buddy John Booth. Thanks for joining us, man. Hello.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's basically it. Hold on, my thing closed. See if I make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, and then we get the Balrog scene, which we talked about. Oh no, the Balrog is down there in the mines, and then I just wrote Mordor, and then I was going to see it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is a really good episode. A good follow up to the last one.
Yeah, I like I said, it stayed on par for quality wise. Very different episode, but
Yeah.
it stayed on par quality. This season's really ending strong for me. If next episode is as good as this episode, I'm like, okay, that was solid. I'm ready for season 2.
Right. And I thought about this as well. If Halbrand is Sauron, Galadriel could be bringing him right where he wants to be. That's a good point.
Wow. I don't know.
I won't rule that out. I think I don't know how much of a possibility.
If that's true, like why certain actions by the character wouldn't make sense to me if that's true.
I agree.
Like, why would he even contemplate, like, whether he wants to go back to the Southlands and be king or not? Like, we saw him like struggling with that on his own.
That's a good point. Unless he thinks he's someone else, and
then that's different. Like, okay, so let's say there was that guy existed, but like Sauron just overtook his body or something, and like in order to survive. And he's deep down inside him somewhere or something. Yeah. Jeffrey Miller sends a super sticker. Thank you so much, Jeffrey. And I see the Streamlabs getting mentioned in the comments. We don't have access to the Streamlabs, so they have to be sent to us. So if we can get to them, we got to wrap up the show here. But so I got to double check. They haven't been sent to us yet. So
if not, we'll definitely get to it. Start the show next week. If not,
but thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, Jeffrey Miller, thank you, buddy. That's really awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I thought it was a solid episode. I'm ready for the finale. Hopefully
I know,
it's
man.
Good.
Ready for finale. Well, now that we know they're shooting season 2, I'm super excited. I already was, but yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, they literally just started, which is great.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this ends. I wonder. It doesn't seem like we're gonna actually see the rings at any.
No, not in this season. No. In the series, yes.
I wonder if the series will end with the rings or not.
I think we'll get a season or 2 with the rings. I mean, think about all the people that get rings.
There's a lot of them. There's like 20 of them. So, yeah, it's a good point.
So that's going to change like the whole. And like we said, I mean, I should know this. You should know this. Are all of the rings magical or just the one ring?
I think they are.
They must be, because what's the point of them if they're not magical?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
And I wonder if the show is actually just going to be about everyone having rings. And
it's called the Rings of Power.
That's what I'm saying. The power struggle between all the people that have rings, you know.
We jumped. Hey, look, we saw the creation of Mordor unexpectedly and very quickly.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
But like, they haven't even talked about making rings yet. So that's the thing.
No, the king, the Elf King just mentioned we're going to build a tower that can forge anything, and really quickly too, with great speed or something like that. He said. So now we don't know if he's talking about the rings or he's just talking about weapons or think we talked about that before, but I don't know. There's a lot going on. I think this episode was called the Eye. Like this is the eye of the storm that's passing over.
Oh, yeah, they're messing with us.
I think there's going to be more. It's definitely an allusion to the Eye of Sauron for sure. Like maybe he's watching wherever he is, or he knows what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. It could be. There's a lot of characters who still could wind up being a lot of people that we are familiar with, and who are either going to be great or cause a lot of damage, or both. Like in the case of Isildur. Speaking of him, we still don't know exactly what happened to him, so I'll be curious to see what actually did happen to him and how he gets out of it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. It was a lot of fun.
I do want to let me end it on this.
Okay.
This will give us a hint to maybe who is Sauron, because so basically in the lore it says that Sauron only made one of the 20 rings, the famed one ring to rule them all.
Right.
Although he assisted in the creation of the 9 rings for mortal men and the 7 rings for the dwarves.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
Keep an eye out once the rings start getting made. Sauron might be around and we don't even know it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's very interesting. So he made his ring. So okay. Yeah, I did not know that.
But they, like I said, adaptation, they might not follow that.
Sure.
That's all.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah. All right, fascinating. So this show needs to be 5 seasons. We need 5 seasons of this show.
It is.
Oh, is it? I was just kidding. Okay, I didn't know that.
They literally said we're doing 5 seasons.
Oh, okay. All right, well, good.
And Jake says Sauron's 100% around already. All right, we'll see.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you,
right.
Jeffrey, everybody watching. Andy, thanks for watching along with us. Our buddy Jake Berlin, thank you, man. Thanks for joining along and jumping around in the chat, buddy. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We got 1 episode left, so it'll be interesting.
It went by so fast.
I did, right? It didn't seem like it, but yeah. So this has been fun talking to the show with you, man. I'm glad we were able to do this, and yeah, I've enjoyed doing this every Saturday. Enjoyed having you guys watching along. Got a big finale coming up. It's gonna be big. I wonder. Each episode has been about 70+ minutes, so I wonder if this will be the same. Or
Love that.
Go a little longer. I wonder. So, but either way,
feels like a real TV show.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, either way, we're gonna be here to talk about it. So that's gonna be it. Jacob, you have anything you want to share?
No, that's it, man. I mean, check out Apocalypse Now on Tuesday. Of course, we got the She-Hulk finale is going to be next week, and we'll be covering that on Marvel Rewind. I should be on there with Brian, and yeah, just keep an eye out. And also, Fandalorian Club, we'll be talking more Andor next week as well.
Andor, which I love. I love Andor. I'm enjoying that show. So yeah, check that out. Check out Apocalypse Now too, live Tuesday nights, Pacific Standard Time. Somewhere between 6:30 and 7, one of those times. It'll definitely be Tuesday evening. We'll let you know. Follow all our social medias. Go check us out there. We'll let you know when to tune in. And of course, come back here next Saturday. Probably going to be
finale.
Back. Yeah. We'll let you know the time. It's probably working out later to start a little bit later. It seems like our friends Andy and other people can join us, so we'll let you know for sure. But we'll definitely be back on next Saturday.
Just keep an eye out on the channel; it'll show what time it'll be at.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back to talk about that. Thank you again for joining us. For Jacob Bartley, I'm Keith Barnes. This is the Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power weekly review show. We'll see you next week.